An unacceptable loss for the Chicago Cubs. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I am your host, Mike Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. Listen, this is your number one spot for everything Chicago Cubs. This is also the voice, the home of the voice for the Chicago Cub fan. Excuse me, guys. It's been a long day. But with that being said, the Chicago Cubs did lose a nail biter of a 2-1 game over who? The last place in the division, Pittsburgh Pirates. The Chicago Cubs lost this game purely because of a lack of ability to push a run, one run, two runs across the plate. You look back into the inning where Ian Happ tried to go from first. From first to home, and that really doomed the Cubs from there. And I don't know if QB sent him on that, or if he was just going on his own volition. He thought he could beat it out, but he was out probably about 3 or 4 seconds before he ever even made it to home plate. A lackluster effort from Kyle Tucker today, to be honest with you, from the plate. It just did not look like he had it today from the plate. It looked like, really, honestly, to be honest with you, the whole team struggled. And, coming into this game, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I expected the Chicago Cubs to lose today, but I expected it to be different. I expected the Chicago Cubs to lose. I expected Paul Skenes to maybe go, 8-9 innings, shut the Cubs out, 8 innings, shut the Cubs out. And with Kay Horton, a rookie on the mound, maybe they luck up and get and Kay walks a guy and then gives up a home run or something like that to O'Neal Cruz or something like that, or Andrew McCutchen gets a hold of one, and the Chicago Cubs lose based off of that 2-0, something like that, right? If you would have told me, like, hey, Mike, in this game, the Chicago Cubs are going to get rid of Paul Skenes after 5 innings. You got the 6th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning, and the 9th inning for an opportunity to win this ball game. And they're gonna be using their bullpen, which really isn't the best bullpen. The Chicago Cubs should have been able to take full advantage of that bullpen. I'd have told you, oh yeah, we're gonna win this. We're gonna sweep the whole series. It's gonna sweep the 4-game set, right? No. Unfortunately, the Chicago Cubs could not get their heads out of their asses enough to win this ball game. All they needed was 2 more runs. Not to mention the fact that they tied it up at 1 and then went into extra innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates and had the Manfred man at second base, and he stayed there for 3 damn outs. Never moved, not once. Nobody was able to push him across. When I tell you that that's unacceptable, I mean that. And here's why this loss stings. This loss stings because it's the Pirates, and you should be able to beat them. This loss also stings because your offense, quiet as kept, has not been great over the last month. Sure, you've had some big games, but your monster blowout games, we're looking all the way back from that Colorado series, and I'm looking at this like, something's up here. Something's up here. Carson Kelly has come back down to earth. Seiya Suzuki and Pete Armstrong can't hold it together and win every single game for you. They've done their part for the most part. Dansby Swanson has been tragic. Ian Happ is starting to figure it out. But Kyle Tucker's been not good. Not good. He has not been a half a billion dollar man, offensively or defensively. And I really wanted to save all of this, and I think I am. I still am going to. I'm not going to say everything, but I want to save all of this for the Monday show because I really want to dive deep into Kyle Tucker, his stats, and what it means. So, like I said, there's no game Monday. Chicago Cubs have a day off after this Pittsburgh series, and then they welcome the Brewers into Chicago on Tuesday night. But I have a hard time believing that Kyle Tucker will expect around $500 million, to play for the Chicago Cubs next year if his numbers don't improve. I do still think he's a better option in right field than Seiya Suzuki. I do. But behind the at the plate, I mean, I'm looking at him and I'm just like, man, like you are slumping bad. You are missing fastballs that should be gone. Kyle Tucker should have 20 home runs by now. He has overthought way too many times at the plate. I don't know if it's the hitting coach, but the hitting coach has had everybody else hitting. I mean, he's got Seiya Suzuki and PCA looking like they're on the trip to the All-Star game. So Chicago Cubs are still 42-28 on the season. They still lead the Central Division. The Cardinals are playing the Brewers tonight, so somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. The Brewers could come within 4.5 games of the Cubs, or the Cardinals could move back to 5 games out from the Cubs in the Central Division. Cubs have a decent lead. I'm not worried about that right now. We don't have to talk about that. But this offense is troubling. It's troubling because literally your defense, your pitching has shown that they have what it takes to hold teams. Your bullpen has shown they have what it takes to hold teams. Your offense is the thing that's slumping. So yes, well, I do believe the Chicago Cubs do need to add another pitcher. And Bruce Levine commented that the Chicago Cubs have shown every sign that they're pointing towards trying to go for it all and win the World Series this year. The guys on 670 The Score mentioned that they'll believe that when they add an ace to replace Justin Steele. We'll see. But the Chicago Cubs have a lot to figure out with this offense that has fell into a slump really for the past 2 months. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just piggybacking off of somebody else. I'm telling you what I see, the eye test. Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly were a big reason why your offense was looking like it was. Now, I've seen some other people come down on Matt Shaw. I mean, yes, Matt Shaw needs to be better. Yes, Matt Shaw is also a rookie. I've already told you guys a month ago that you might need to look for another third baseman or another infielder that can hit. Nico Horner has a great average with RISP. But at the same time, you also got to think about the fact that he has no pop in his bat. It's June 13th, and he still has yet to hit a home run. Matt Shaw has 2. Dansby Swanson has found his way. Michael Busch has found his way. But you might look to trade maybe for a second baseman or a third baseman that has some pop in their bat. And I'm not even talking about somebody that needs to play every day. But I'm talking about somebody that could play either second or third. You can pencil them in and know that they're at least got some pop in their bat and can add some fluidity to the Chicago Cubs offense. And I'm not talking about Justin Turner. I'm not talking about Vidal Brujan. I'm not talking about John Birdie. Those guys don't have the pop. Turner's probably the closest out of all 3 of them that has some pop in his bat. Now, it's up to date. You've taken advantage of the teams you've beat and you needed to beat. And you should be 2 games up on the Pirates right now. You're at home. You had a runner in scoring position even to tie the game up, and you couldn't even get a fly ball to advance the runner to tag up from second to third. That's embarrassing. Downright embarrassing. Chicago Cubs got to figure it out, man. Craig Counsell's got to figure it out. Ian Happ after the game said that, He looked at the numbers. He saw, like I said, the club's been struggling offensively. And he just said, that just means we're due for a big outing here soon. It's going to come real soon. And I'm like, yeah, prove it. Prove it. Because it's games like these that you lost last year that cost you a playoff spot. Losing to teams that you're supposed to beat and only losing by like one run because your inability to score. If Jed is really serious, he can't leave anything to chance this year. If he really wants an extension, if he wants to stay with the Chicago Cubs and he wants more power and more say over the team money spending, he is going to have to go out and spend in the trade market. He's going to have to trade. He's going to have to get an ace, and he's going to have to get somebody that can hit home runs. Point blank, period. And somebody's got to go talk to Kyle Tucker and say, hey, you know you in the contract year, right? Somebody got to go wake him up. Somebody. Because every single time we look for Kyle Tucker to be that guy, I feel like lately he just has not been. We'll save that for the Monday show. But the Chicago Cubs got to figure it out, man. Chicago Cubs got to figure it out. 42-28. They go up against these same Pirates tomorrow. It'll be another game, Saturday game, day game, 1:20 start time. Mike Burrows has an ERA of 5. Matthew Boyd has an ERA of 2.89. Chicago Cubs more than likely probably pull this game out. Matthew Boyd has been sensational all season long. We'll see what happens. But the Cubs also have to figure out this offense. They have to. Thank God we have dependable pitching in our bullpen and in our starting rotation that has been able to hold it down while this offense has been slacking. But this offense has to pick it up. We haven't even hit the dog days of summer yet. We haven't even hit July and August yet. It's only going to get harder, guys, from here. So that's my time. What are you guys' thoughts on the Chicago Cubs slumping offense? And what are your thoughts on the Chicago Cubs' unfortunate loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates and the way that they lost? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Remember, you can also be a part of the show by leaving me a voicemail at 217-816-5498. Or you can also write me an email at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. Till next time, this is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs, and the voice of the Chicago Cub fan lives here on Chicago Cubs Central. Appreciate you guys. Go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.